Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and an absolutely fascinating Secret Santa puzzle today. I will be looking at that in a moment. First of all, I do want to mention that we have today posted a very slight revision to Fistomafel's brilliant hybrid Sudoku hunt, the Sudoku event of the year on Patreon, where we have made a very slight clarification to the rules of the Nori Nori Nighthawk puzzle and provided a different example puzzle for the archipelago, all done by Fistomafel himself. Thank you so much to him for taking such an active part in this hunt. It's brilliant. It's an absolutely brilliant construction. We've had hundreds of correct entries and Simon is now addressing the task of beginning to read those out. Don't expect to be read out on the day you submit it. It takes a while to catch up on all the names because we have some incredibly clever Patreons who have managed to solve the whole hunt, even without those clarifications, which are quite small, to be fair. So very well done to everybody who's already done it. We're giving you till the 10th of January to solve that. And by then we will have launched on the 1st of January our new January Patreon reward as well. Another hunt. It's brilliant as well. We're really looking forward to bringing that to you, but loads going on as always around the channel now. There's of course all our merchandise and our apps. Do check out the apps on the link to the apps. It's great. Our lasted app, the Cracking the Cryptic app, is where you can find the 500k puzzles from earlier in the year, the Prasanna's free 7 puzzle introduction, and of course you can also buy the Domino Sudoku download and the Gas app there as well. So all available there. Again, that's brilliant. Now, I do have a happy birthday to wish. Amy Morgan says that it's your 19th birthday and wants me to wish you a very happy birthday specifically, which I'm delighted to do. So indeed, I hope you have lots of chocolate cake. I believe that's the tradition. Happy to maintain it. Now, on the Discord server, which we mention far too infrequently these days, there is a wonderful community of people who participate in Sudoku and other puzzles and chat all day long with each other in very many different channels. One of those channels that crops up each year is the Secret Santa thread, and I think you have to have some sort of status as a puzzle constructor to be invited to participate in the Secret Santa game, as it were. And I think there's nearly 200 people who are, so it's very popular. Please do correct me in the comments. It's administered by the excellent Punching Cato, also known as Priam Bhushan, who goodness knows how much work she undertakes to attribute Santas to Santees, as it were, and it's all very secret at first. Eventually people tend to find out who their Secret Santa was. The way it works is somebody tells you, you agree to participate, you send in a little bit of information about yourself. That information gets passed on to your Secret Santa, who is then invited to construct a puzzle personally for the giftee. And they can either follow this sort of suggestions or not, as they choose. And it's great. I mean, I don't remember what I said about myself, but obviously I'm a little bit more public than most participants. And my Santa has sent a puzzle that is always perfect, I think, in theory, at least for me. So I'm very pleased with that. And there is a story attached. I did read about somebody getting sent 80 puzzles and an ultimate 81st tying them all together as their gift. I don't want that gift. That's too much puzzling to do. And I guess whoever draws me as their giftee is lucky in a way, in that potentially their puzzle may end up on the channel, because my doing it involves me recording my doing it in case it's worthy of being on the channel. And then once I've made a video, I'm quite likely to want to put it on the channel. So there you go. We'll see. If you don't see, I mean, if you are seeing this video, then that has worked again in this case. And I think each year I've participated, I've put up my Santa's puzzle. So anyway, I don't know who sent this. I know that they're calling themselves well, either Secret Santa or J. Quincy Magoo. So it says that J. Quincy Magoo, who is of course the Mr. Magoo of cartoon fame, is on vacation at a beach and is walking around a large completed Sudoku grid drawn in the sand. For some rows and columns, he decides to write down the sum of the nearest x numbers, where x is the number in the cell nearest to him. He finds an interesting coincidence. When he lets 1 equal A, 2 equal B, etc., up to 26 equals Z, the sums along the top and right sides fit his name. So you can see that 13, 8, 13, 1, 7, 15, 15. If you translate those into letters, that's Mr. Magoo, which is brilliant. I mean, that is absolutely accurate. Someone comes up to the grid and points out that for some rows and columns, Mr. Magoo's short-sightedness, his famous failing, has mistakenly caused him to add the nearest x-1 numbers instead of the nearest x numbers. Mr. Magoo is enraged that someone would accuse him of having less than stellar vision, and in his anger, he tramples all over the grid, erasing most of the numbers in it. Can Cracking the Cryptic's Mr. Magoo solve the problem caused by his namesake? I am, of course, Mr. Magoo. That is my crossword pseudonym, at least, and occasionally for Sudokus. So I get to solve this puzzle. So those rules translate as normal Sudoku rules apply, 1 to 9 in every row, column, and box. Outside clues show the number of the nearest x or x-1 numbers, where x is the number in the first cell from that direction. So if, for instance, this was a 5, that would be saying that the 13 is the sum of either the first 5 digits or the first 4. So that's how it works, which is very unusual and certainly unseen by me variation on x sums, which is a genre I like. So I think either I said so or my Santa has worked that out. Congratulations. And right, time to stop waffling and have a crack at this puzzle. So let's get cracking. Okay, 1 is good. 1 is easy. 1, whatever sum Mr. Magoo is seeing from outside the grid, if he's adding it up to 1, it is a 1. And 1 applies to that as the x. That's got to be the answer. I think this must... I was going to say no, this must be a 2. But actually that's a dangerous assumption because this could say 3. And then Mr. Magoo might add the first 2 cells and that would go 3, 2. If it's a 2, then he must add the first 2 cells. 1 isn't enough. Oh, I see. So they definitely... Yeah, the point is here, they definitely add to... There is a beginning of this row that definitely adds to 5. It's not a single 5, because that would be the x in that case, and you would have to add 5 or 4 cells. So it must be a 2-3 pair to start the row, but either of those will work as the x. This is complicated. Now, let's have a look at the 7 here. Oh, that's annoying. This could actually say 4. And be 4, 2, 1, and Mr. Magoo then adds the first 3 cells. That's... Oh, what's going on with it? Okay, that's really irritating. So, okay, what I would often do with x sums is fill in the possible digits in the x cell. So there, we could go up to 4, because then we would add 3 cells. Normally with a 7 sum, you can only add 2 cells. Now over here with the 8 sum, again, we could put in a 4 and have 4, 3, 1 as the total of the first 3 cells. That's really weird. We can't have a 1 because then we could only add 1 or 0 cells. So 2, 3 or 4, I reckon. Now what about 15? 50, the trouble is you could... Oh no, okay, 2, 3, 4 or 5. I was going to say you could put in a 6 in a 15 cell and add the first 5 cells, but actually that wouldn't work because one of the cells you'd be adding is a 6 and the other 4 would have to add to at least 10 and you'd be over the total. Ah, okay, so 15, and that goes for these ones over this side as well, is 2, 3, 4 or 5. Ah, this 13 at the top can't be more than that. I could write in a 5 and add the first 4 cells as 5, 1, 3, 4. So That has given me a quadruple in this column. That's what got the R. Well, right, a quadruple of 2, 3, 4, 5. So these other cells in the column, I don't think this really helps, are 6, 7, 8 or 9. That one can't be 6 or 7. This one can't be 6 or 9. That 13 must also be 2, 3, 4 or 5. Now, we've got bigger numbers over here. Well, let's start with the 18. We can't use a 6 because there is a 6 in the column. So again, I think it's 2, 3, 4 or 5. We can't put in a 7 and therefore add at least 6 numbers. Oh, and 2 won't work. Oh, 2 won't work for any of these. For any of these 15s, will it? 2 will work for that 8. But 2 would mean we were adding 2 or 1 cell. That doesn't work for any of those or the 18. Right. Oh, so there's a 3, 4, 5 triple in the top row. Okay, hang on. Let's just fill in these. 32. We could add as few as 5 cells. 9, 8, 7, 6 and 2 is 32. So this could be a 5, except it can't be in this row where we've got a 3, 4, 5. So if I write 6, 7 or 8, the 8 could represent 7 cells. Oh, hang on. If we added those 7 cells to be 32, those two would have to be 13 because there is a secret to do with every row, column and box in a Sudoku. And if you lean very close, I will whisper the total of every row, column and box in a regular Sudoku. It's 45. Because 1 to 9 always adds up to that. So this cannot say 8 because we can't add 7 cells. And in fact, we're not adding 7. Oh, we could be adding 5. Of course, I've only just realised 32 plus 13 equals 45. So there's no overlap or underlap of the things we're adding. Actually, can we do this in 4 cells? No, we can't. That's lovely. Right. How many cells are we adding to get this 13 on the right? We're not adding 2 because they can only add up to a maximum of 9. We're adding 3, 4 or 5, but we're not adding 5 because we would go over 13. Are we adding 3 or 4? Well, if we were adding 4, it would be those 3 which add up to 12, plus that, which would have to be a 1, but we've already got a 1 in the box. So we're actually adding these 3 cells, and that means this one is a 4 or a 5. That's its X. No, it means it's a 4, because we're adding 3 cells. So it would have to be a 3 or a 4. Hang on. It's 3 or a 4. And we're actually adding those 3 cells. So if this was 3 and 5, to get to 13, we'd need another 5. That's not allowed. If this was 4 and 5, we'd need another 4 here. That's not allowed. This must be 3 and 4 in that pair, and we add a 6 and we get to 13. Now, I don't know whether this is saying 3 or 4, and Mr. Magoo doesn't know either, because he's only adding 3 cells and it's X or X minus 1. But now we've got a 3, 4 pair here. This is a 5. That means we're adding 4 cells here, because you can't add 5 cells and keep it down to 13. So we're adding 4 cells, and these 4 cells add up to 13. Once you've got a 5 in them, the other 3 that add to 8 are 4, 3 and 1, and this one sees a 3 in that pair and a 1 there and is a 4. And then those two are a 1, 3 pair. Okay, so we've sort of done, I think I'm going to mark off that sum as done. Once that 1, 3 is resolved, that's done. Now, this has become a 7 by Sudoku, since we put the 6 in. But we're definitely adding those 6 cells. And once we've put 13 in there, they must add up to 32. So that one's done. This one's done, whether it's a 3 or a 4. This one was done as soon as we started. That one's done, whether it's a 2 or a 3. And that's all we've done so far. Now, I never got as far as looking at this 40, which is handy, because that 7 is now ruling out one of the 2 Or is it 3 possibilities? It is 2. If you put a 6 in here, you'd have to add at least 6 cells, but the most they can add up to is 39. So that's not enough. So this is a 7, 8, or 9. It's not a 7 now. So I'm going to write 8 or 9. And that means we're adding either 7 or 8 cells. But the outies add up to 5. If we were adding 7 cells, those two would add up to 5. This would be a 1 or a 2. That would be a 3 or a 4. If we're adding 8 cells, that's a 5. And I think I'm none the wiser then, which is a bit annoying. I thought I was going to make a breakthrough there. Now, this 18, let's go back to that. It's a 3 or a 4 in this cell. So we can't add more than 4 cells. Could we only add 3 cells? The trouble is we could only be adding 3 cells, and that could be a 3 or a 4. I don't really know what I'm saying. I don't think I can make much progress on that, is what I'm ending up concluding. Now I'm getting a bit stuck. Okay, here's a thought. If we were only adding 7 cells along here, those two would add up to 5. No, that's not a useful thought. I'll tell you what is a thought. There's got to be a 5 in this column, and it's in one of those 2 cells. So one of these has a 5 in, and in that case you're either adding 5 cells along here, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or more likely 4, which can't have, the only low number they could have there is a 2. I don't know what to do about that. It feels like it's significant. It's a good puzzle, this, actually. This 7, has that got any easier? Don't think it has. We haven't really done anything at the top. Oh, there's a 3, 4, 5 triple. Right. Wake up. Right, 3, 4, 5 triple makes that a 2. Now I can fill it in. If that's 2, we're adding 2 or 1 cell, but to get to 7, we're obviously adding 2. That's a 2 and a 5. Now, this can't be a 2. So now we're adding, well, it could be 2. It can't be adding 2 cells, because that would have to be a 3, and that would be a 5, which would clash with that. So we must be adding 3 cells in reality, and they must be 1, 3, 4, therefore, because they can't have a 5 or a 2 in. And that's a 1, 3, 4 triple for the addition. I don't think it tells me what's in the X, but I can kind of orange that, because whichever way that works now, we're right. Now, the only place for a 9 in this middle row is there. Then we have a 6, 7, 8 triple. Oh, we've got a 9 in this box now. 8 and 7, so that can't be 7 or 8. Or 6, that's a 9. This is a 6. There's bits are coming. There's a 5 in one of those two. There's a 2 in one of those. That's 7 or 8 as a result. We've got a 1, 3, 4 to put in here. That gives us a triple here. So these are from 2, 5, 6, 8. That one can't be 6 or 8 because we've got a 6, 7, 8 triple here. Now, that's all very well, but I need to... Oh, maybe I can think about this one again. Now, we're either adding 3 or 4 cells. 2 isn't enough. Okay, if that was a 3 or a 4, those two would add up to 7. That would take it up to 14 or 15, and that would have to be another 3 or a 4, giving us 3 of them. So, if we're adding 4 cells, that's not a 3 or a 4, but it could be a 1. And if we're adding 4 cells, this has to be a 4, and a 1 is 5. Then we get up to either 12 or 13. And we need a 6 or a 5. So we would have a 5 here. If that's adding 4 cells, it goes 4, 5, 8, 1. If we're only adding 3 cells, well, this could be a 4. But no, they would add up to 14, and they're not allowed to have either a 5 or a 6 in. That's not possible. That would have to be a 3. This would have to be a 7-8 pair. Ah, that's a lot of working out. But that is either a 7-8 pair, or it goes, what did I say? 4 something 8 1. 4 5 8 1. Oh, it can't be a 5. There's a 5 there. Oh, so 4 didn't... Adding 4 cells doesn't work at all. With a 1 there, that has to be a 4. 5. These add up to 13, but they can't be 6, 7, 8, 5 or 9, 4. So this is... Well, no. We are adding 3 cells, yes, and those add up to 15. So that needs to be a 3 to make the sum work. And that's now a 4, which doesn't really matter for that. But it takes 4 out of those cells. These are now a 3, 5 pair. That can't be a 3. These are from 1, 2, 4 and 9. This pair, oh, we now know where 2 goes in the box and 5. Ooh, stop. 5 goes there. That's not a 2. One of those is a 3. These are from 1, 4, 7, 8. Gosh. It's quite intricate, this, isn't it? Now, one of these is adding... Oh, if one of them was adding 5 cells, it wouldn't be there. Because if you put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there, that's impossible. So if one of them was adding 5 cells, it would be here. And that's nonsense. No, I don't know if that's nonsense. I was looking at the 40, but no, it could be adding 5 cells, but it's more likely one of them's adding 4. Now, the 3 is definitely going to be adding 3. What do I mean by that? I mean, it can't be a Mr. Magoo mistake that's adding 2, because with a 3 there, you'd need a 12 in the second position. So, whichever one of these is a 3, the other 2 cells in the row add up to 12. And since they can't be 5, 7 or 3, 9, whichever one is a 3 goes 3, 4, 8. So one of those 2 is a 3, one of those 2 is a 4, and none of those can be a 4. One of those 2 is an 8, and that can't be an 8. And in the other case... in the other case, we've got a 5, and we can't have a 9 here, or we're going to get to the 15 total too quickly. So neither of those can be a 9, and the 9 in the column is now here. So in the 5 case, what about, one of these is an 8. What about 7? In the 5 case, it could go 5, 7, 5, it could go 5, 1, 7, 2. Whoa. Oh, hang on. In this column, where's 2 going? It's going in one of these cells. So these are a 4, 2 pair. So that's a 1. They're not. Yeah, this is a 1, 7, 8 triple. I could have worked that out before. But anyway, so in the 5 case, it goes 5, 2, something, and then something that can no longer be a 2 or 1, 3, 4 or 5. So it's got to be at least a 6 here. So 5, 2, it's got to be a 1. So one of those 2 is a 1. And that's where 7 goes. It goes 5, 2, 1. And then it's got to be a single digit 7 in one of these cells. 5, 2, 1, 7, and in the other case 3, 4, 8. And I don't know which is which still, but that hasn't actually mattered. So that's not 7. I've got all these numbers, they're doing no use at all. Right, this might be possible now though. Or this. Yes. If we were actually adding 7 cells, oh no, it still works. These last two would have to add to 5. Ah, but one of these goes 3, 4, 8, and the other goes 5, 2, 1. So this can't be a 3, 2 pair. So we're not adding 7 cells along here. We're actually adding 8. That remains able to be 8 or 9, but this becomes a 5 as the outie. And that's a 3. And where we've got the 5, we go 5, 2, 1, 7. Where we've got the 3, we go 3, 4, 8. Those are done. The 5 is being read as a 4 in a Mr. Magoo mistake. He's getting that one right, that one right, that one right. This one wrong. He's made a mistake there. This one right. This one wrong. It's funny how often he is wrong, actually. Those he's getting wrong. That one we don't know yet. That one we don't know yet. This has become a 5. And it's not all 5 cells, so he's getting that one wrong. This is adding 4 cells. And we can't use 3 or 4, so I suspect we have to use 1 and 2. Because if you use 2 numbers more that are bigger than 5, you'd bust this completely. So we're adding 5, 1, 2, and 7 again, just like down here. So this is a 6, 9 pair. I think we're getting close now. That can't be 7. Actually, neither of those can be 7, so we can place the 7. And I mean, effectively, this is done. I've used all the outside clues as to the full extent possible, because whether this is an 8 or 9, I'm actually adding 8 cells. Right, so the rest is Sudoku somehow. Let's see how that pans out. That can't be a 5. 6. How on earth is there enough information? We need a 6 in one of those. We've got a 1, 3 pair. Oh, that was set up in this column. So that is a naked 2, given that 1, 3 pair. We see 5, 1, 3, 4, 9 in the column, and 7, and 6, 8 in the row. So that's a naked 2. That makes that a 5. 2, 6, 8 pair. This is 9 and 5 down here. These are from 1, 3, 4. This is 6 or 8, but it must be 8. That's 6. 8 there, 8 there. One of these is 8. Oh, also one of them is 9. So this is a 6, 8, 9 triple along the bottom here. That's 3 and 4. These are from 1, 2, 5. Along the top, 2 has to be in one of those. No, let's look down the first column, second column, 5 there, 5 there. We need a 5 in box 1, it's got to be there. We need a 4 in box 1 as well, in one of those 2 positions. 6, 8, 9. These are from 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not getting a triple here quite, no. Oh, one of these is a 4 in this box, so that sorts out 3 and 4. That's a 3, that's been obvious for a while, I just didn't spot it. That's a 1. We need a 1 up here. We need a 2 up here. How is there enough information here? Is there really enough? Have I missed something about the rule set? I don't think so. 6 there, so we're going to get a 6 in one of those cells. That's 7 or 8, because it can't be 6 or 9, and that's a pair. So this is a 6, 9 pair. 5, 1, 4. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like there's quite enough here. Oh look, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4 quad. So everything else is 6, 8 or 9 in this column. So that one is 8 or 9 and is not 1, and 1 is here. These are from 2, 8 and 9. That one can't be 9. So 3 is in one of these 2 cells. Up here, 2, 3, 5, 1, 7, 4, 6 or 8 there. Also 4, 6 or 8 here, weirdly. Now, those can't be ones. There may be more of these trebles or quadruples to spot. Oh, that can't be a 5. Yes, 5 is placed in box 8. That's just ordinary Sudoku. Now we've got a 1-2 pair in the column. That fixes that 4-1 pair. This can't be 2. So the 2 in the top row is there. That's a 7-8 pair. So we need to place 3 and 4. We can do that thanks to the 4 already in box 2. 3, 1, 2, 4. It's beginning to look like there is enough information. Somehow, 2, 5, 3, this is 6, 7 or 8. Well, it's beginning to look like it. I'm not counting any chickens yet. It's a very clever puzzle, I have to admit. I'm really most entertained. Oh, 9 is looking at that cell. Gosh, 8 there. Now, that's a 6-9 pair in this column. So those can't be 6s. Piece by piece, those can't be 8s either now. The only place for 1 in this column, oh, the only place for 1 in box 4 is there. The only place for 1 in this column is there. That's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 2. They can't be 2 and that can't be 1. Now I've got a 3-4 pair in column 3. Oh, that's lovely. So 8, 9, 6, 4. Everything is getting unwound now. I mean, there must have been other singles and triples to spot, sort of hidden singles, but I am not F puzzles. I have to do it myself. I think we've got everything now. We've got all the information we need. 7 and 8, and our puzzle on the beach is nearly fully restored. 6 there, 7 there, and 8 there. Oh, the solution is actually correct, not just looks correct. So my Santa has input the solution. So I will be publishing my Santa's link to this puzzle so you can play it with the solution correctly entered. And that is my solution. It's good. Well, it is the solution. It's clearly correct. So thank you very much for watching, as always. And very Merry Christmas to you. And hope to see you again soon on the channel. And I hope your Secret Santa got you something nice, whether it was Sudoku based or not this year. Bye for now.